everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're doing a reading for sign of Aquarius, and keep in mind that this will not resonate for every Aquarius. If you'd like a personal reading, it's going to be the first link in the description down below. I repeat that. First link in the description down below for a personal reading. You also find my other things there in the description. You can find my Etsy shop, which has my tarot and my oracle cards on there. A bunch of things there on my Etsy shop in the description down below. You should definitely go check that out. You can also find my shirt store, my website, different social media platforms I'm on, as well as Patreon. All that's in the description down below. Okay, Aquarius. Oh yeah, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. I do appreciate donations here. So Aquarius, let's see what Spirit has in store for yourself. Let's see. Let's go towards the sign of Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, I think that's good shuffling. We have the Moon, Aquarius. We have Sword 7. We have Spear 3. We have Guinevere. We have Sword 2. We have Sword Queen, which is your own card. We have a Star, also your own card, but it has a deeper meaning in this deck. Okay, we have the Grail Maiden. So, Guinevere being there, that's like abundance. That could be like motherhood. Alright, we have the Moon. It feels like with this moon, this last full moon and this upcoming moon, you've manifested new cycles, new phases in your life, which is that of abundance, Aquarius. Alright, now we're going to read your cards because they have deeper meanings than they have deep meanings actually with this deck. I like this deck a lot. Moon, Star, we have Guinevere as the first card. So we have Guinevere. Sits spinning a meadow while a white cow grazes nearby. She is Arthur's queen and the guardian of peace and concord in the land. In Celtic tradition, she is a beautiful face of sovereignty, the flower bride, whose consort rules the land. Guinevere is often presented as a faithless wife of Arthur, whose guilty love of Lancelot caused the downfall of the Round Table. Such a picture is not consistent with the early figure of Guinevere, who is described as one of the 3 gentle and gold-topped ladies of Britain, whose integrity upholds the honor of Arthur's court, and whose beauty reflects the fertile land, or the fertile face of the land. The accusations of infidelity leveled against Guinevere are without foundation in the early traditions, which speak of her abduction by a series of men, including Mordred and Melaz. It is not until there's some long words I don't know how to say. In the 12th century, that we find Lancelot in the role of the rescuer, though not yet as the active lover of Guinevere. Putting the evidence together, we find that Guinevere aligns with the archetype identified with the flower bride, the otherworldly woman, often representative of the goddess of sovereignty, who becomes a consort of a king. Her role is to manifest, in her own person, the harmony between king and land. But if she is not matched on every level by a reciprocal love from her consort, then she looks for a champion to challenge a king and remind him of his duties towards his queen, and the land which she represents. She is indeed championed by many knights, including the Grail winner, Percival, and Geraint. They both avenge Guinevere in separate incidents when she is insulted by an unnamed knight, who is possibly the otherworldly providence. Perhaps the clearest key to her original role is found in the triad, which describes her as a triple Guinevere, as 3 women, each of whom was the spouse of Arthur. In Celtic tradition, she has a strongly developed sense of triplicity, which extends to the aspects of the particular archetype or deity. Guinevere as a flower bride, along with the Lady of the Lake as a foster mother, and the Washer at the Ford as Caliche or the Hag, make up of the composite manifestation of the goddess of sovereignty in the Arthurian world. So it says fulfillment, beauty, abundance, creative growth, material and spiritual wealth, fertility, motherhood, health, harmony, femininity. Now these questions, Aquarius, there's questions within this book with these cards. These questions are important to kind of help Spirit understand what is it you're looking for. So it says, what is yearning to be fulfilled now? How does this serve beauty and harmony? What needs to be nurtured? So what are you wanting to be fulfilled? Alright. We have the star. The watchman witnesses a dragon-tailed comet over Logris. The second watchman sleeps. A cockerel heralds the dawning of a new era, and the Pendragons will bring the land from anarchy, tribal rivalry, and invasion to a state of defensive peace. The dragon is the emblem of the Pendragons, Uther, and his son Arthur. And his history of the kings of Britain, Geoffrey of the Monmouth writes about a meteor in a dragon-shaped which appeared over Logres. Uther called Merlin to interpret this omen. Merlin immediately announced the death of Ambrosius, Aurelianus, and urged Arthur to become king of Britain. The dragon was interpreted as being Uther himself, and the two rays which came from the dragon's mouth signified his son, Arthur, whose dominion would be great, and Uther's daughter, Anna, whose sons and grandsons would be kings of Britain. Uther immediately ordered the making of the two golden dragons, one of which he gave to the cathedral of Winchester, and the other which he carried into battle. The dragon star heralds the coming of the Pendragons, and the golden dragon which Uther has made, which is the Draco standard, which is carried into battle as a sign of hope and victory, and which we see depicted here in Arthur throughout the history of Logres. The hope of the people is ever renewed. As the tides of time ebb and flow at the conclusion of Arthur's reign, when all seems in despair, hope rises of a new coming, which is both a resurrection and a new birth at once. When all seems dark, the duty of the seeker is to look for the signs of renewal, to be vigilant at all times, to encourage the downhearted, and to strengthen the doubtful. Just as the land of Logres was in disarray before coming of the Pendragons, so all times of crisis need their inspiration and rallying point. Here, the vulnerability of the land finds a new protector, announced by a heavenly sign, as the Grail Guardian is withdrawn into the Spiral Tower. So a new cycle is imminent. In every land and every time, there are guardians who were once seekers, like Merlin. They read the signs of times and wait in order to help the influence of the other world to manifest. In every land and every time, individuals whose vocation is to bring great change or great cohesion are being born. The precession of equinoxes, which brings us into the new age, reveals many such people, and they are our hope. It says hope, dreams, faith, desire, trust, a new cycle, inspiration, protection of loved ones, refreshment, new influence in social consciousness. Questions: what do you hope for in this matter? What shoots of renewal are showing? What is the source of your refreshment? Alright, so what are you wanting to be fulfilled, and what are you hoping for in this matter? Like, what are you hoping to get out of that? Aquarius. We have the moon. There's the moon. The salmon leads the way to the discovery of Mabon, the god of innocence and truth, lost from the beginning of time, the finding in Bronicley. Depicted in the full moon is one of the quests of Coleridge, Arthur's nephew. One of the oldest animals remember, or only the oldest animals remember Mabon's vocation. There is always a period of waiting before the Pendragon or the Grail winner shows themselves to the people. In this case of Arthur, he is taken by Merlin from his parents, Igraine and Uther, to a place of fosterage where he will learn the skills he will need when he is king. Percival is raised in the seclusion of a forest, in ignorance of arms and knighthood, by his mother. Galahad is raised in a monastery. Lancelot is fostered by the Lady of the Lake, who taught skills of war, as well as the courtly manners of the noble youth. Nothing can hasten this necessary process of preparation any more than a child in the womb can be born before the time is right. The coming of Arthur and the Grail champions stand in a long tradition of the wondrous youth who is destined to reappear after a period of devastation or despair. In Celtic tradition, this youth is called Mabon, son of Modron. These names mean, respectively, son and mother, and they represent archetypes which can be identified and reapplied to the many figures within the Arthurian tradition. Mabon's story survives fragmentally in which cultures in Olwen, in Mabinogion, where he becomes the object of a quest by Coleridge, a youth who is set impossible task in order to win his chosen bride, Olwen the giant's daughter. Arthur and his court assist Coleridge in accomplishing his task. Coleridge is told to find Mabon, a mysterious character who was taken from between his mother and the wall when he was 3 nights old, and no one knows whether he is alive or dead. By questing through the levels of time, each represented by a totemic bird, beast, or fish, Coleridge and his champions are enabled to find the salmon, the oldest of the animals in the Celtic tradition, who takes them to Mabon's place of imprisonment. There, he is liberated, no longer a baby, but a vigorous youth, who is both harpist and hunter. Mabon further assists Coleridge in achieving his task. In this story, Mabon's imprisonment is not necessarily an unwilling one. Just as the Grail passes out of manifestation into a withdrawn state, so certain archetypes wait for the right moment before manifesting again. Mabon's imprisonment is hinted in the Prelude Anwen, where he is described as a youth bound with golden feathers, a hostage to the otherworld who awaits from the beginning of time for a chance to manifest. Mabon's story is paralleled by that of Taliesin, who is as Gwayen Bach, was transformed as an initiate poet-seer into many forms, including the salmon. He suffered 3 periods in the prison of Arianhard, a reference to spiral care of initiation. Lastly, he was born of Saradun. His instructor in wisdom, Mabon is the son of the goddess Modron, but his father is not mentioned in any tradition. This aligns him with Merlin, also a child without a father. Generation, ingestation, cycle growth patterns, fluctuation, dreams and visions, deep memory, introspection, the creative process, seasonal round, instinct. Questions. What are your dreams telling you? What grows in the darkness? What messages do your instinct bring? What are your dreams telling you, Aquarius? Like your dreams when you go to sleep. Alright, but one thing that we are talking about here is we are talking about a new age, a new era. Alright, it's like a new generation, like new, I guess you would say new spiritual champions. Bringing that new era as well, Aquarius. So what do we have? I think swords come first in this deck, yes. So we have sword, 7, 2, and queen. So sword 2 here, near 2 swords. A truce party and antler curls. A truce before the Battle of Camlann. The Battle of Camlann, sometimes called the last battle within the Arthurian legends, is suggested in this card. The 2 swords represent the armies of Arthur and Modred, drawn up in truce, and Adur, moving in the grass, caused a man to draw a sword to slay it, and so the battle was provoked. Truce or temporary peace, compromise, hesitation, suspension of beliefs or opinions, analysis before action. Question: what brings a peace? What brings a peace in your life, Aquarius? Or what brings a peace between you and another person or people? Sword 7. Galahad was the only knight capable of pulling the sword from the floating stone. When Galahad first comes to Arthur's court, he is summoned to the adventure of the stone. This consists of a floating red stone in which a sword is stuck. Many of Arthur's knights are unable to pull it forth, but Galahad succeeds, thus emulating Arthur. Where is a reservation or deception? Okay, Aquarius, what? There is like something here or someone that's a bit deceitful. There's like temporary truce there, but it's like, this is kind of weird. It's like this person's deceitful. May have been someone that you've already had issues with, so you already know this about them. The Sword Queen. One of the 9 wise women of Gloucester, who trains Percival in deeds of arms, furnishes her sword. Black maiden who admonishes Percival for not persevering in his quest, and for not asking the all-important Grail question. Well represents the Sword Queen in the story of Peredur. Part of her role is fulfilled by one of the 9 witches of Gloucester who trained Peredur in arms, after the fashion of the Celtic warrior woman. A keenly intelligent, shrewd, independent, disciplined person, careful analysis, fosterage of skills. Question: what defends independence and truth? So you have Spear 3. That's the next one. Spear 3 is right here. The forest of the adventurer leads seeker deeper into their quest. During the quest, the knights often met with guidance through the vast entanglement of the forest of adventure. Sometimes this took the form of a hermit figure. Sometimes 2 naked children standing in a tree indicated the way. Confidence, expansiveness, proven strength, enterprising initiative. Question: how are your plans creating a path? See, what are you wanting to be fulfilled? What are you hoping for in the matter? And what is like your plans that keep creating a path forward, Aquarius? What is your quest here? Grail Maiden. Beside a spring, the Grail Maiden stands holding an earthenware vessel. The Grail Maiden guides all who go in search of the vessel, offering them to drink. Not all recognize the meaning of this gesture, as witness the acts of King Amagons and his men who despoiled the damsels of the wells. An imaginative, creative, loving, sympathetic, artistic, humanitarian person. A dream, inspirational news. Question: how do you serve the Grail? And how do you serve the Grail? So how do you serve spirit and spirituality here, Aquarius? Like, yes, your dreams, your wishes, your plans are becoming true. What do you have to serve in return? And it's not in a bad way, I just want to clarify that. Alright, Aquarius, now one thing I do want to show you is what I was talking about on the last reading there, when I pulled out the death card. I was like, I'll show you this in a different deck. That's what it reminds me of. Let me go find it. This card here, the Watcher at the Fort, Aquarius, which I think was briefly mentioned earlier. That death card there, which also reminds me of like the Caliche in one of the other oracles that I have, and if you don't know what that is, you can go look that up, that character there. But this is like a release of old patterns and old belief systems and what no longer serves you. Alright, Aquarius. So yeah, that is what it feels like here. It feels like there's a new phase, a new cycle here. There's abundance coming in. Aquarius. There's temporary truce here, but a new cycle. It feels like new age of spirituality and new generations of spirituality. Like new children and people who are going to be practicing this and who's going to be bringing service to this here. Alright, so let's get some room, some chunks to yourself. We have Virgo, so you can have those placements or one around you. We have this Aztec serpent god, which you're connecting to. We have what we have. We have a big breakthrough happening for you, Aquarius. Spiritual initiation, gateways opening, prosperity, abundance. That's the gateway opening for you, and also this is justice in a way, alright, which makes sense with Guinevere being here with prosperity. So, that's all I have for you, and like I said, first link in the description down below for a personal reading. Also go to my Etsy shop, go in there, go buy something. Really appreciate that. If you want to see more content, definitely subscribe. Bye guys.